How do you respond to an angry response?
You're a voice actor. You're an entrepreneur. You're a VOPRENEUR. Welcome to the Everyday VOPRENEUR podcast, your guide through the business of voiceover.
Your voiceover demos are your #1 marketing tool, and you need to display them on your website in a way that works on any device or browser. VoiceSam is the player producers love. Plus, it offers tools that can improve your email signature, quickly create a one-page website, and much more. Sign up now at voicesam.com/markscott and get 3 months of the base player for the price of one. That's voicesam.com/markscott for full details and to sign up.
The VOPRENEUR podcast. Hey, it doesn't suck.
Not as funny as Conan. Not as cute as Seth Meyers. Not as smart as Colbert. But he's one of us, and that counts for something. Here's Mark Scott, the original Everyday VOPRENEUR.
Hello and welcome to the Everyday VOPRENEUR podcast, your guide through the business of voiceover. I'm Mark Scott, the original Everyday VOPRENEUR, continuing on with the summer series. These are short, quick hit episodes designed to give you one really good piece of actionable, practical advice and then get you back outside and enjoying the weather or whatever fun summer activities you may be taking in. Just before we get into this week's episode, I want to remind you that the Voiceover Marketing Playbook is coming September 7th through the 16th. This is a 6-hour video course that is designed to give you all of the foundational information that you need in order to start successfully marketing your voiceover business, whether that is through email marketing, social media marketing, other forms of passive marketing, in-person networking, whatever. It's all in there. The course designed to show you how to find your own leads, build your own client base, and become the consistently working voice actor that you want to be. And again, it is coming out September 7th through the 16th. This is the final time that it will be available in 2021. Details available at voiceovermarketingplaybook.com. I want to address a question that I get asked a lot, which is, what do I do when somebody responds negatively to me? So the assumption here is that you are in the process of writing your marketing emails. You know, you're getting out there, you're finding those leads, you're sending those emails, you're making those contacts, but somebody writes back with an angry response or an upset response or a frustrated response or an otherwise negative response. And what do we do? Now, the instinct, I would say in about 95% of the cases is, that's it, I'm done, I'm not marketing anymore, this is not working, this is clearly a bad idea. And then that gives the voice actor the excuse that they need to stop doing the whole marketing thing, which most voice actors don't necessarily want to do or get excited about doing in the first place. But that is not a good way to respond. I want you to think about it from this perspective. Let's say, for argument's sake, you write 100 emails and you get one negative response out of those 100 emails. Why are you letting that one negative response out of those 100 emails override the otherwise positive responses that you got from the remaining 99? So you have to keep things in perspective. The fact of the matter is, if you send enough marketing emails, it is inevitable that you are going to get some negative responses. But what you need to remember is that those negative responses very seldom have anything to do with you. Has somebody ever caught you on a bad day? Maybe it was your spouse, maybe it was one of your kids, maybe it was a coworker, maybe it was, the telemarketer that happened to call your house on that day when you answered the phone. But has anybody ever caught you on a bad day and you just kind of snapped? And I don't mean that you went completely postal on them, but maybe you were rude, maybe you were short, maybe you were ignorant, a little bit sarcastic in your responses. I think it's fairly safe to say that we've all been there and done that. Sometimes when we're having a bad day, it's just about being the wrong person at the wrong time to set us off, right? I think that the same thing stands true with your marketing emails. Now, I have sent probably tens of thousands of emails at this point. I don't even know. I've sent a lot of emails over the years, though. And I have definitely got some angry responses from some different people that I have marketed to. And in every single one of those instances, I did the exact same thing. Took a breath, and I wrote out a response that basically said, I apologize for any inconvenience that I may have caused. I wanted to let you know that I will remove your email address from my list. You won't hear from me anymore. And again, I sincerely apologize and please forgive the intrusion. Right? So I always take the high road. I humble myself. I own their frustration, take it on myself, send that email back in response. Almost every single time that I have done that, I have received an apology back. Because in most cases, and not all, but in most cases, if somebody is replying to you with a short, angry, sarcastic, rude, ignorant response, it's just because they're having a bad day and you caught them at the wrong time. Very seldom does it go much beyond that. But here's something else to remember. Even if it does go beyond that, we're literally talking about one person, one time, right? We're talking about one email that didn't go down well. Are you going to let that one email that didn't go down well literally derail the entire marketing efforts of your whole business? I certainly hope not. But that's the instinct for a lot of voice actors. As soon as that negative response comes, we immediately assume the worst about ourselves. We immediately assume that we're sending the wrong emails, or we're contacting the wrong people, or we're doing the wrong thing, or we shouldn't be doing this. This isn't the way that it works, whatever. We go into full-blown panic mode. And I just want you to know that you shouldn't be doing that. Take a breath. Relax. You caught the wrong person on the wrong day. It really is that simple. The worst thing that you can do is to push back. Don't ever do that. Don't ever push back. Don't ever respond back with something sarcastic. Don't ever respond back with something rude or ignorant. And it should go without saying, but it needs to be said. So if you always take the high road, if you always humble yourself, if you always apologize, in most cases, it's always going to turn out well for you. And in fact, I have an example in my own career where I sent a marketing email to someone. They responded back rather angrily. I responded back that very apologetically, asking for forgiveness for the intrusion. And they ultimately did respond back to me. They apologized. They told me they were having a bad day. There was something going on in their personal life. My email just hit them at the wrong time. They responded too soon, just quick to anger type response. And I ultimately ended up on their roster. So we don't know what's going on in the recipient's life. We don't know what is happening in their day. When our marketing email lands in their inbox, they could be having the greatest day of their life, or they could be having the worst day of their life. When that marketing email drops, they could have just lost a huge contract. Their spouse could have just filed for divorce. One of their kids could be sick and in the hospital. They could be behind on their mortgage payments because COVID has caused a slowdown in their business. Like, we literally don't know what their story is. And so my rule of thumb has always been that I will always give everyone the benefit of the doubt until they give me a reason to not. So don't let it derail you. When you get that negative response, apologize, make a note in your CRM so that you don't reach out to that person again, but do not let it derail your business. Don't give those negative responses, which are so few and far between. Don't give them that kind of power. And that is my best advice for you on how to handle those responses, because if you send enough emails, it's inevitable that it's going to happen. So if you know in advance that it's going to happen and you're prepared in advance for how to deal with it, hopefully it's not going to scare you so much when the situation finally does occur. Of course, hey, you never know. Maybe you'll get lucky and you'll always hit everybody on the right day. I can honestly tell you, it's like a handful of angry responses that I have received over the years. It's not something that happens very often. Don't let it derail you. Thanks so much for listening. I'll catch you on the next one.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for hanging in. Thanks for hanging out. Want more VOpreneur goodness? Jump online at VOPreneur.com.